Welcome back, adventurers. This is the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, and I am your host, Tom, or Robots, and I am back with my wonderful co-host, Lotus of Doom. Lotus, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Happy Skyrim 10.
Happy
Hacky
Pyrin 10. I don't know what's happening with my words. Of course, words are crazy. I did just stop watching Happy Gilmore, so maybe that's why Happy's
there it is.
on the front
good
of my
movie.
face.
Very funny.
Yeah, we got to introduce my 11-year-old son to it, which is a good time with an 11-year-old when you have a hockey player trying to beat up everybody on a golf course. But hey, we were planning to originally record this on the actual date, 11/11/2021. But things kind of came up last night. Things were a little bit busy for you, so we decided to push it back. So here we are on 11/12. It's Friday night, and we are recording, and we will be reminiscing this episode about Skyrim a bit and going back through the main quest line. So just like we did with Oblivion, if you don't want any spoilers, now's the time to nope out of this one. But if you are one of the millions of people who have already played
40
through this
million
game,
plus, I believe it is.
you gotta be at least that many, right?
Yeah.
Then stay tuned. We're gonna be reminiscing about the main quest line, going back through the game, just like the last episode with Oblivion. So Lotus, how have you been? How's life outside of, some of the crazy things that have happened over the last day?
Good. Been a lot happening, obviously, with Skyrim's birthday. On brand. Here is my copy that I got of the Anniversary Edition. With my perpetual liking to collect physical versions of stuff. I got my new one for the shelf.
I hear you're very excited about one thing in particular when it comes to the PS5.
Yes. And for anybody who is playing on the PlayStation, which I don't know, it almost seems like highly controversial to several people who have told me various things. But Microsoft owns Bethesda. There's questions of Starfield, as we know, is a Microsoft exclusive. Mm-hmm. It remains to be seen with some of the series that are already established what they'll do. Quake Remaster has been launched on everything. And the Skyrim Anniversary is launched on everything as well, as that was my PlayStation version. And because of PlayStation's mild ineptitude with understanding cross-generational games, unlike just a universal achievement system that seems to be a simple thing that Microsoft has figured out, some games, the trophies just transfer over. Some games have two separate lists and then they'll pop again. And in this case with Skyrim, the way that it's coded in Sony's database is the PS4 and PS5 versions are wholly independent video games somehow. Even though if you look at the case, it specifically says this is a PS4 game with a PS5 upgrade. So that's somehow in their system registering as two different games. So I can go through and collect all of the achievements in Skyrim for the 5th time, I believe.
Oh my gosh. So you're like in heaven.
Yes, because I've done it on PC, Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, and now it'll be PS5.
Wow. So
I have a problem.
So I'm on the complete other end of the spectrum on this, because not that I avoid collecting these things, but I usually play on PC, and then I usually very quickly mod at least something into the game, which disables achievements.
Yes, it disables achievements. There is... So I don't mod, as I was going to say, it's kind of pretty well known. I don't really mod these games or anything like that. It's neat that the Creation Club is built into a lot of this with the Anniversary. However, I forget what I don't know, it's probably like super taboo, but there is a mod that re-enables achievements.
Jeez. Oh no. Oh, that seems really sketchy.
So you can mod your game, but then there's a mod to make the achievements work while the game is being modded.
Oh, that seems so sketchy. And also I'm sketchy. I'm also kind of tempted to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to like mod anything in there to like go through and get achievements unfairly.
I mean, you can cheese it and just be like, I have a billion everything. Okay, enable achievements. I'm just going to walk through the game. I mean, whatever. It's a single player game. You do you, but that's pretty weak. But yeah, if you still want to get achievement, I don't exactly remember the name of it, but look it up. It definitely did exist when I was goofing around on PC, because somebody sent it to me. They're like, look, you can actually enjoy all the weird crap and also still get your achievements. I was like, huh, interesting.
Oh, super weird. Okay, well, I guess if that's the thing you want to do, then you can go do that. I'm a little bit tempted. Well, here's the thing is that when I mod, okay, so I recently, just 2 days ago, just 2 mornings ago, started playing Skyrim Anniversary Edition on my streams on YouTube. And we had a great group of people come over. We were having a blast, started a new character. The community is helping me do this. We're having our extreme role play. It's going awesome, right? Jump into the game. The game looks great for a 10-year-old game. It looks amazing. The content creation, the creation club or whatever it's called. For some reason, the name of this thing just falls out of my brain all the time. What is it called? The
Creation Club?
The Creation Club. Why can't I can't remember this. The Creation Club stuff.
Even seamless.
I know, right? So like I found the first place where you can go fishing. I did that. Some of the other little bits, like I found some of the first bits of like some of the weapons and armor that I just kind of could uncover early in the game just from finding it, like little things in places. And I was like, wow, I've never seen this before in the game. That stuff looked great. After my first playthrough, after leaving Bleak Falls Barrow, we saved the game, finished the stream, and then later on that night, I loaded back into the game and I was like, I wonder what else is in the Creation Club. And I kind of poked around there and I was like, I wonder what else is in the mod section. Poked around in there and I was like, oh yeah, better textures and weather. I was just like, it begins, right? And I'm like, I'm not going to mod in any like wacky companions that look like anime girls. I'm not going to mod in any like crazy new buildings or complete revamps of towns. Although that stuff I'm sure will come later at some point when I'm just like playing around with it again. But for this playthrough, just like, give me some really cool weather effects and maybe some better textures. That sounds cool. And oh, by the way, the whole wet and cold thing where like characters actually, you can see their breath in the cold weather and they drip after they get out of the water. Yeah, that's something. Things are a little bit shinier when they're wet. That's cool. And maybe better blood textures. That's cool. Things that make the game just a little bit more immersive, but don't break anything.
Sure. That I totally get.
Totally cool. So maybe I'll just mod in the whole like keep the achievements thing with that stuff, because it doesn't actually stop me from like playing any of the normal stuff, and it also doesn't make playing any of the normal stuff any easier.
And you won't personally feel dirty about it.
Yeah, it's totally not dirty. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But here, the Skyrim Anniversary Edition is here. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. This episode, a lot of hype, isn't about going. Excitement. It's a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. This episode isn't about going through all the nitty gritty details. If you're looking for that stuff, there are videos aplenty. There are articles all over the internet. It's very easy to look that stuff up.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's kind of been like, at least via the Twitterverse, as well as elsewhere, but it's just, that tends to be my social media of choice. There's just been so much going on. I mean, I had my saga about my Elder Scrolls Online chair from Noble, and now there's a Skyrim edition for the 10-year anniversary that they're releasing, which
looks pretty cool.
As somebody who loves their Noble chair, it was a little awkward when I was like, oh God, there's another one. Like, what? I can't sit in 2 chairs at once, nor can I afford another one of these chairs. Yeah. But if you're interested in one of these and didn't get the chance to get the Elder Scrolls Online one, it is also a very, very cool chair with an arrow to the knee joke involved in the chair. Very, very cool stuff. And did you get to see the orchestra?
I didn't watch this yet.
So I didn't get to see it live either because I was at work. However, thanks to Beautiful Jay, who is one of the lead writers, I believe is his position, but over at ZeniMax Online Studios, he actually put out a link. It is on Spotify. You can actually listen to the concert on Spotify. It's awesome.
Nice. Okay. So yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to look this up after the stream. So
yeah, it's definitely worth a listen if you love the music of these games, and I mean Skyrim being the most popular of them. Definitely suggest it.
Yeah, it's definitely something I need to go figure out and go look up and just spend some time watching later for sure. The one other thing I wanted to note, and there's some talk about this in chat about the mods, is that there's the whole discussion about this edition of the game breaking mods. A lot of that has to do with the script extender. And last I read about this, they actually released an early version of the game to the guy who has been the lead on doing the script extender mod, which so many other mods rely on in order for them to work. So just a few details about that. One, any of the mods you have that don't rely on the script extender will still work without that, including the ones that you can load through the game itself, because most of those don't rely on the script extender. Two, he has been working like night and day for the last 2 weeks or so to update the script extender. I believe there is an updated version of it that is not fully tested yet, but is working somewhat. So even if you're a little bit worried about that breaking your game, there is an updated version for that. And three, he's continuing to work. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be one of those issues where it's going to be like months and months and months and months until your version of Skyrim is going to work with all the mods that you're used to using again. It looks like it's going to be one of those things that should be solved momentarily, and it might just be a short little while to get that going again. So it's something that they were aware of. They contacted the guy behind it in order to see if they could get this adjusted. And it does have something to do with some of the behind the scenes stuff that worked for the features in Windows that was connected to a Windows 2015 thing that was now updated 2019 thing, and technical stuff that I don't understand completely, but they do, and it looks like they're doing what they can in order to work with the community to get that working. So obviously they're not doing this in a way where they're trying to break stuff, but they're trying to update components in order for things to work as best they can. So that just means that everything in the chain has to be updated as well, including the stuff that mods have to rely on. So this is something where in time things should start working again. So just be aware of that. But let's get on with the rest of the episode, because we've got to talk about the main quest lines in Skyrim, because that's what the main focus of this episode is about. So, Lotus, you ready?
I am. Let's do this.
All right. So everybody remembers how Skyrim starts, because you start out in that cart riding down the road with the good old, buddies of yours in that cart. Remember
and
this?
You're finally awake.
You're finally awake. And so the funniest thing to me is that you're sitting there next to this very fancy looking important Nord, right? Mm-hmm. This fancy looking dude who is supposedly has a gag on his mouth because he can do a dragon shout.
Yes.
Do you remember this?
I do. And
remember wondering what that was about the first time you sat down?
I did. I had no idea what the deal was with that at first. And I feel like it might have been from our Discord, without going too off the rails. It's just such a funny joke / meme / just concept where, for anybody who doesn't know, Ulfric has the power of the voice, and
this is Ulfric Stormcloak.
Right? Yeah, so that's who we're referring to, which we'll get into in a second. Yeah. And that's why he's gagged, is we're talking about. But his hands are tied in front of him,
right? And
he could just remove the gag. Actually, Rob mentioned it in chat.
Yes,
which once that was brought up to me, I was like, huh, that's really funny.
He could just move his hands up, and he doesn't even have to use his fingers. He could just use his arm and just like move the gag off the front of his mouth.
Yep. And then shout away.
Also, the gag isn't even that tight. Like we all wear masks over our mouths,
right,
when we go in public these days, and you can still shout with a mask over your mouth like that.
But yeah, it's just a funny little thing with the way these are done or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ulfric Stormcloak is riding along with you as you cross the border into Skyrim as a prisoner, because that's how you play these games, as a prisoner most of the time.
Yep. You and a bunch of other prisoners are being brought in. You must have done something that was pretty bad, and of course you get into town, into Helgen, and this is where you get into your character creation. You decide who you are, and coming off of the cart, then you run into the super nicest guard of all of them. Do you remember this?
Yep.
So this is Hadvar, right?
Hadvar, yeah.
Hadvar. I can't pronounce their names the way they do. So Hadvar looks at you and says something different depending on which race you pick.
Yes.
Every single time. And Hadvar is like the nicest of the guards because he's like, oh, you are in the wrong place for something, or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you get off the cart and the impatient one of the group is like, fine, let's just get this done with. And he goes up and gets his head cut off.
Right.
And
I was gonna say they don't care about justice. They care about chopping off traitors' heads, and they don't care who the traitors are.
Right. And here's the thing: General Tullius is there. Everybody's doing their thing. They're all pontificating about like blah 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 blah. The Imperials, the Stormcloaks, blah blah blah. Right. And then first dude goes up, gets his head cut off. Had he waited like 2 more minutes and just not said anything and let people just pontificate a little bit longer, freaking dragon dude would have showed up and he never would have gotten his head cut off.
Yeah. Now, you might have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was really in the wrong place at the wrong time. Absolutely.
This is the thing that I always think about when I get there. I'm like, that poor dude was in the wrong. And then you go up to the thing, you lay your head down, and dragon dude shows up, who of course we find out later is Anduin.
Alduin, not Anduin.
I was going to say Anduin.
Anduin sounds like a coffee barista.
No, Anduin is from World of Warcraft.
Oh God,
who is Anduin? Anduin is from World of Warcraft. Alduin. Oh man, Anduin Wrynn is the prince and then the king in World of Warcraft. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm gonna get strung up. You guys are gonna murder me now. Alduin.
Hail of insults incoming.
I'm gonna leave this in. I'm not gonna edit this out because it's hilarious.
Just run with it.
Alduin, big old dragon dude, shows up and is like, blasts everybody with his shouts, starts burning down the city. You run around with everybody, and then you get to the crossroads, your first time, and you run up against a situation where Hadvar is like, come with me, and then the other dude, what was the other dude's name? Do you remember this?
I do not remember. Hold on, I'll bring up the
I've got it.
Quest list.
I've got it all in front of me too.
I don't remember the other guy's name.
Gunjar.
That sounds right.
No, that's a dead guy. I'm trying to. We don't have this all in front of us while we're doing this. But you and the other dude.
Your other choice for who you decide to escape with
is. Chat is going to tell us any moment now.
Beautiful.
It's the Stormcloak guy.
Yeah,
whose
Stormcloak
name
guy, which is funny. This is why I never go with him.
Ralof. Is it Yes, it's Ralof. Yes, it's Ralof. You're right. It's Ralof.
Ralof. Yeah, that's what it looks
Ralof.
like.
So, and for some reason, I always go with Ralof more often than I go.
Interesting.
With Hadvar.
I'm super not Stormcloaky, so that's I tend not to.
Well, here's the thing. Usually, in the beginning of the game, I'm like, if those guys tried to chop my head off, I'm going to go with the other guy.
Yeah, that's valid. I mean, that totally makes sense.
At that point in the game, I don't have like a team because I don't care about the bigger conflict. It's more about these guys tried to chop my head off. These guys didn't.
Totally get that. Totally
go with the guys that didn't chop my head. Also, once you get into like the going through the keep and underground and all that stuff, the guy that kills everybody, what's the guy that chops people's heads off? The executioner dude, super creep. And if you go with the Stormcloaks, you get to kill the executioner. That dude's a super creep. So I always feel okay with that.
Also, it looks like, because I'm always used to just Ralof, but it looks like chat's saying that it's pronounced Ralof.
Ralof, yeah. See, all the name pronunciations I'm so bad with. So Ralof,
that totally seems legit enough to me, but.
Yes. So Ralof, you pick which one you go with. You go underground, you go through all this stuff. And then, of course, you end up going further underground, sneaking past the bear, doing all that stuff. And we can't go through every single step in this quest, the main quest line at this detail, because it will take like an entire nighttime. We'll be here until dawn.
Oh yeah. So yeah, this will go on. There'll be some condensing.
Yes. But this is fun to just kind of reminisce in this way through especially this part of it. But
plus we have the secret at the end about the anniversary that very few know about, that we'll have to conclude with.
At the very end of the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, you'll have to stay tuned for that.
Don't you worry.
End.
I have the true secret to this.
The true secret. So you go through. Eventually, you escape. You come out the other side, and you're set free and told, "Hey, why don't you come to the next little town nearby? Because we can help you out. Otherwise, you just go wherever you want." And then, of course, the dragon goes flying over and flies away. And that's where you're kind of left off, right?
Yes.
So that's the end of the first quest. Second quest, you head out of the dungeon, and this one is called Before the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you remember how this one starts?
So is this where no, this is actually before Bleakstorm Barrow, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. This is where you can decide to go to Riverwood, right? Because
you're told you can go down the hill to Riverwood, which I remember I always did this oddly out of order because I tend to bumble into Bleak Falls Barrow, which the game kind of nudges you toward, but also you have your direction. So it's cool scripting in the way that they give you the main quest, or also a main quest that you haven't arrived at yet, and you know that you need to go there yet, which I always thought was cool after I knew about that.
Right. Yeah. So you can go to Riverwood, whether you go with Hadvar or Rayloff, both give you reasons to go to Riverwood. Right. Like you can go for with either of them.
Yeah. The direction of either of them is the same location, regardless of who you go with. Right. It's just that the reasoning behind it is what changes.
Is a little different. Right. And then on the way, there are the stones, the Guardian stones, the Warrior Stone, the Mage's Stone, the Thief Stone. Now, what's funny about this is I believe the first time I played this, I totally missed these. I'm thinking back now 10 years.
I think one of my friends did as well, so I don't believe you're alone.
So I'm pretty sure I missed these on the first playthrough because I just kind of was like, I'm just going to run around in the world because that's what happened when you leave and enter the world in Oblivion. I was just like, I'm just going to run around. So anyway, you head to Riverwood, and if you actually follow the quest line, you meet the people there. You find out that, hey, they've got this claw thing. It'll take you to Bleak Falls Barrow, or you can totally skip all of that and just go right to Whiterun. Either way, you end up going to Bleak Falls Barrow.
Yeah.
So that becomes
feel like it's a weird scripted, but it's scripted, but at the same way, the game does a great job of making it feel very organic the first time you play it. Like when you know how it works, you can see how it works, but it's a really unique thing that people's first experiences are not all the same, even though it's sort of scripted, but it's just all there for you. It's just which one of these little blocks do you pick up first? Right.
So if you get to Riverwood, not Riverwood. I'm so bad with names, guys. I'm so sorry.
Riverrun's another series.
That's a completely different series. I do too many lore shows. So you go. I don't do a World of Warcraft lore show, so I have no explanation for that one. You go to Riverwood and you meet the trader guy who's like, I've got this claw thing. Maybe you can help me figure out what this goes to. Go up to the barrow up there, see if you can figure it out. Right. If you skip Riverwood, you head over to Whiterun. You meet the Jarl. The Jarl says, talk to my wizard guy. He's got a thing you can help him out with. And then he says, go find the Dragon Stone. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow. Either way, you go to Bleak Falls Barrow, right? You end up in Bleak Falls Barrow. You fight all the stuff in there, all the Draugr. You find, of course, the big spider, the guy who tries to run away from you. You go through all of that stuff. Spoilers aplenty, and you make your way. These
memeable moments that everybody now rips on or remembers.
Absolutely. And then you fight the big, mean Draugr guy at the end. There's the wall in front of you with all the runes on it, and of course you suck in the power of the first Thu'um, right? Unrelenting force. That's the first one you get
all smart with it.
You get all smart with it, and then you get the Dragonstone, and you leave, and you head back to the Jarl, and you're like, "Hey, I got a Dragonstone," and they're like, "Hold on." More important stuff. Oh, Glosis has his Dragonstone.
Hey, I've got a Dragonstone.
Look at that.
More important stuff.
And they're like, whoa, hold up. Important stuff. We got to talk to the Jarl about this. You just chill out for a moment. And they bring in a guard who's like, excuse me, sir. You say, Jarl, we have a dragon. There was a dragon. It burned up a tower. We need to go to the tower.
Beautiful voice acting.
Thank you. I could be one of those guys. So absolutely.
Actually, you probably could.
I don't know about that. So of course you go check out to investigate the tower, right? And you end up going with Irilith, who is the I don't know what her official title, right? For the
I don't remember if she has an official title.
She's like head of the guard or something.
Yeah, she's one of the lead guards in the right. In Whiterun. I mean, I don't. Yeah, it's like his own personal guard type of deal.
Yeah, and she's like, listen, we got to go check this out. And the Jarl is like, whoa, this isn't a like we're just going to fight to the end. This is we need to survive and find out what the heck is going on, and like report back.
Me there,
right. Like we got to figure out what's going on and see if we can actually kill a dragon and report back. And so this is when you meet, and we talked about this guy before. Murmelnir. There we go. I got it. Right.
Murmelnir. Apparently, she's the Jarl's housecarl directly. Oh. I didn't know that she was
housecarl to the Jarl.
Okay.
Jarl's housecarl. That's my new rapper name.
Beautiful.
So so you go meet Murmelnir. And he comes swooping out of the sky, big old badass dragon, starts killing everybody, blowing fire and everything. You fight him off, you kill him, and then unexpectedly, whooshy sounds.
That's the sound of you eating souls.
Yeah, you and all of his flesh, because only his bones are left. So I guess the souls are combined with his flesh.
So this one of my favorite effects from this game is when you do eat the dragon souls and their scales and flesh kind of like flake off, like when you burn paper and it like crumples and like blows away. I love that effect from the dragons, so that all that's left is the bones type of deal. Such a cool effect, while you're getting eye blasted from all the soul and everything like that. But at the same time, it's a very cool effect, the way they just kind of like paper burn away as they decompose.
That part is really, really cool. And then of course one of the guards runs up and goes, "You must be Dragonborn." And you're like, "What is that?" And he's like, "It's what my grandfather used to tell us stories about." And you're like,
"Beautiful, perfect."
That's perfect. Yeah, I'm so good at this. And you're like, "Okay, cool. I guess I'm Dragonborn." And then you're like, "I guess I'll take all these dragons and scales with me." Oh God, they're so heavy.
Oh my God. So valuable, but so very heavy.
So heavy. You need like a wheelbarrow that you can just carry around with you. By the way, one of the other major benefits of Anniversary Edition are backpacks. They're amazing.
Really?
Yes, backpacks. So, I have found 3 backpacks already in the game.
Well, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, and you can make them too. They're craftable. Anyway, so you head back to Jarl Balgruf. I can't say his name. And you're like, "Hey, we killed a dragon," but on your way into the building, the graybeards make a big boomy sound and it starts raining. And then you walk into the place and they're like, "Did you hear the sound? That was the sound of the graybeards making the big sound and the boomy sound."
These are spot on. I hope everybody's actually tuning in just for the one-to-one dialogue.
I hope you guys aren't confusing this. These are not actual sound clips from the game. This is just me doing this with
actually Tom doing his interpretation of the game. I know it's shocking.
I've memorized all the lines perfectly.
Yes, exactly. Well, the whooshing sound at first I thought was originally the Dragon Bone glitch of when you would open the gates to Whiterun, a giant dragon skeleton would just flop in front of you, which came with the original console problem. So I thought that was the sound you were mimicking at first, because it brought back memories of me not being able to get through the front door because of that thing.
So you talk to them and they're like, "Go talk to the graybeards. They want to talk to you," which is weird, because how did the graybeards know this happened from so far away? I guess they're up on high on a mountain. They can just see everything all the time.
Yeah, or they sense that one of the dragons just got nuked.
Yeah, they're like, I feel something in the force, in the dragon force.
Again, and we're staying entirely in series.
Yeah, the Dragon Force is the band that hangs out up on High Hrothgar and rocks out for them.
Sick guitar riffs.
Yeah, they're just ripping sick guitar riffs the whole time up on top of the mountain. That would be freaking amazing. Could you imagine?
That's just what the Greybeards do up there.
Oh my God, that would be metal and Nordic as hell.
It actually really would be.
Somebody needs to make a mod where Dragon Force just plays sick guitar riffs up at the top of High Hrothgar, and you can just hear it echoing through the mountains at all times. That would be amazing. Anyway, so they're like, go climb the 7,000 steps to High Hrothgar. Good luck. Hope you have big, strong thighs. And then you go do that, right? That's the next step. So now you're on the quest of the Way of the Voice, where you got to go speak with the Greybeards. Do you remember this? Do you remember? Okay, so tell me about your experience with the Greybeards. I've been doing a lot of talking. Now you talk a little bit.
No, that's totally fine. Because again, recapping these things is like a synopsis version. It's kind of we're chiming in every now and then, but otherwise we'll be here literally like for a 3-hour episode. This will turn into a Tales episode where it never ends.
Right. Yeah, so, we're only like a quarter of the way done, so we're gonna have to keep going as fast as we can.
It's somewhat streamlined. As the main quest is pretty involved, but going up. In game, the joke is there are not actually 7,000 steps, but there's a decent amount of steps going up there. Mm-hmm. You can also Skyrim your way up the mountain.
Skyrim horse that bitch, as I like to say on my streams.
So you can definitely avoid some of that. Mm-hmm. And it's also on the way, you run into the notorious thrust roll, which usually messes somebody up on their first playthrough.
Bring fire.
Yeah, just use fire. Just burn it.
New thing in Anniversary Edition, fire arrows.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
See, I have not been able to play too much of it yet because I've swamped in work. I've got it. I was actually talking to Zero Period Productions earlier, and he's been going through replaying his, and I was just saying, I was like, oh my God, I'm kind of living vicariously through you because you and your stream and stuff like that, the snippets I've seen, that's basically all I've been able to do. I haven't had the time to play myself. I've just got it installed. It's just sitting there mocking me. So
yeah, I saw some fire arrows in like a craftable menu, and I was like, fire arrows, awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you head up into the mountain. You go, you go knock on the door, and they're like, yeah, come on in. We'll just teach you everything, right? That's how it works.
Yep. Just gonna hang out with the Greybeards, and they're totally gonna not judge you harshly.
Okay, so you get up there and you meet Master Arngeir, who is kind of the speaker of the Greybeards, right? Because their voices are too powerful for conversation; they'll just blow you up. That's why they won't talk to you directly.
Clearly.
Mm-hmm. So you have to prove you're the Dragon Ball. Now we're talking about Dragon Ball.
Woof.
Wow. So you go Super Saiyan on them, and then you also show them Unrelenting Force, and then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're the dude.
Yep.
And then you're like, you're the man with the power, and you're like, what power? And they're like, the power, and you're like, the power of the babe. And then they're, man, we're just jumping.
This has gone in so many directions.
Yep. And then you got to practice. They teach you row. Right? They give you the second word for Unrelenting Force, and you got to practice it.
But not perfect row.
Right, not perfect row. You got to practice a few times, and they're like, cool, man, you're good. Now go find a horn. And you're like, what horn? And they're like, the horn of Jürgen's Windcaller.
Again, beautiful.
And then you're like, okay, I'm
going to be so proud of this episode.
Yep. So then you go on the next quest. This one is the horn of Jürgen's Windcaller.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Are we Swedish chef now?
that's how they pronounce it, right?
No, I mean they do clearly. But still,
that one was an actual clip from the game. I can't take credit for that one.
That wasn't even your interpretation. We just used a clip for that one. We got permission.
I can just put it on the hill. I'll hit the play button again. The horn of Jürgen Windcaller. So that was identical to the previous one.
Exactly.
That was just the button I pushed.
Picture perfect.
So they go do that. You go look for the horn of Jürgen Windcaller, and it's just getting worse as I go.
But somehow getting more offensive to the entire European region.
Yep. So do you remember this quest much? This one just kind of is a blur on my list of like specific memories. I feel like I just kind of blew through this one.
Yeah, I actually don't really remember this. Is this in another crypt?
Yeah, so you go... So you are assigned one last task to prove your Dragonborn. Retrieve the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. And then you are going to the ruin of Ustengrav, which is marked on your map, right? And so you travel to it, and then you basically go down into the depths of this place. Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's a word wall down there where you learn the word for become ethereal. This is the new shout that you learn. And you fight some frostbite spiders, you gather some eggs, and down at the bottom, as you make your way through the final room, 4 Nordic dragon carvings rise out of pools of water. On the pedestal where the horn should be resting, you will instead find a mysterious note addressed to the Dragonborn. It states that the horn has been removed and requests that you meet the note's anonymous author by renting an attic room at the Sleeping Giant Inn in Riverwood. Mm-hmm. So after having failed the tasks, you do as the note says and go to Riverwood. When you speak to Delphine, who you've previously met in Riverwood, because you've been there a number of times at this point, about renting the appropriate room, she will tell you that there is no attic room and that you can take the one on the left. Delphine follows you and reveals that she is the one who took the horn and gives you the horn to you. She asks to speak privately, and she will lead you to the room across from yours, where she will seduce you. No, that's not. She doesn't. Delphine opens the wardrobe door, revealing the secret room beneath the inn. In this room, she tells you that her organization has been looking for someone like you, and that she took the horn in order to get your attention. That was a lot of work on her part, by the way. It was,
and then she seduces you.
Yeah. This exchange with her begins the quest, A Blade in the Dark. So, yeah, you go through all of that to find the horn. The horn isn't there. And then I don't remember the dungeon very much, but I clearly remember getting to her and then the hidden room and then the Blade in the Dark stuff. Yeah. So
I actually really always liked their maps that they had laid out, which is super bizarre. But you'll notice them in a lot of the war rooms and stuff like that, and at the camps. Because if you click on the flags on the map, it marks them on your map.
Yes. And I feel like that's something a lot of people didn't realize until like a significant portion of way into the game.
Yes, I love that because it's like, ooh, I need to make a note of going to check these places out. So I just click all the little flags, and then they're undiscovered, but it shows them as like, this is here, you just haven't been here yet, which is really cool.
Yeah. So this is okay. This is one of those things that like makes this game a classic, are these little itty bitty details that just add to the replayability and the ease of play in the game.
Yes.
These little things, like I found a map, there were things marked on the map. If I click on those, it adds it to my map, which would make sense if you were carrying a map in real life and saw a similar map on a table and were like, oh, that's a notable location. I'm going to mark that on my map that I have here. That's the same exact map so that I know how to get to that same location.
Exactly.
It totally makes sense.
Like it makes sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Yep.
Like those are the kinds of genius ideas that they were just like thought about while making this game, and we're just like, no, that's the thing you should do. So, all right, well, we're not even halfway through. This might have to be a 2-parter, Lotus.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I was gonna say it might actually have to be.
This might have to be. We might have to do this right by making this a 2-parter. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to take a break because we need to thank our patrons. We're going to come back and maybe we'll tackle a few more of these in good detail and leave the second half of this for the next episode. You be thinking about that while I talk to our patrons. We'll be right back.
The skies are marked with numberless sparks, each a fire, and every one a sign.
Patrons, I want you to listen to me very carefully. I'm gonna whisper this. You guys listening? I think you're really cool. There you go. That was it right there. That was the thing that you needed to hear.
It's beautiful.
You're welcome. But honestly, and that was honest, but also honestly, I think you guys are really cool. I think you're really super awesome. And thank you for helping to support this show. And also, thank you especially to our 2 Daedric princes right now, Mr. Gummy Boy and Noodle Al Dente. You guys are amazing. And also to all of our other patrons, everyone from tier 1 up to tier 5. Thank you so much. All 54 of you. Holy moly. Thank you so very much. You guys are the best. And if we've done anything on this show to help you get through your workday, your commute to work, your workout, or your attempts at learning the second or third verse of like holiday songs, because who even knows what those words are? then, consider going to patreon.com/Elder Scrolls Lorecast and check out all the different tiers, all the different things that you can get for helping to support the show, because we would really appreciate the help. And I think you might enjoy some of the benefits you get for helping to support the show. Ad-free episodes early, joining us on future shows, merch, which is currently being printed and which will soon be shipping out to some of you guys. Awesome things like stickers and t-shirts for different tiers. You guys should go check these things out. There are pictures of them up on the site, and I can't thank you guys enough. Because of supporters like you help people like me do this as a full-time job. And I can't tell you how much that means to me. So thank you so very much. All right. We need to get back to the show. Here we go.
All right.
Yes, you're entirely brilliant. Conquering madness and all that. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I'm excited too, T-Rex. They will be shipping out very, very soon. And Lotus, what do you got?
So here's my suggestion, all right? Because this is not only just a recap of us kind of just reminiscing about the Skyrim quest line and doing a run through like we did with Oblivion, but also this is kind of a celebration of the birthday of Skyrim.
Happy birthday, Skyrim!
Woo!
Happy birthday, Nova Dude.
So why don't we talk about one more of the quests, and then I will reveal a very important secret about the Skyrim anniversary that everyone should be much more aware of than I found out that the general population is.
That sounds like a great idea, because we did spend a little bit of extra time at the beginning also kind of talking about some other stuff.
Right, and we're almost halfway through the main quest. There's 17 quests, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
yeah, 17. That's what this says. Okay.
Plus optional ones that we haven't even gotten to yet.
Oh, we'll have to address all of that. That'll kind of be able to fill out the extra next time. So
I think that's a good idea. And we can spend a little bit of extra time talking about some other stuff too. So, so do you want to talk about the next quest?
Yeah, let's do one more quest and then we can conclude with the finale of the Skyrim anniversary stuff that I feel is important to discuss before we get too far past the anniversary.
That sounds great. So the next quest is called A Blade in the Dark. And this is where you have to prove to Delphine that you are the person that she's looking for, right? So
yep.
She has the horn of Jurgen Windcaller, and you have to follow instructions in the mysterious note and get to the place. So you get to the inn, you do all of that, and she leads you to the thing that leads you to the inn. And let's see, where were we? You This
ends with you needing to fight a dragon, if I remember correctly.
That's right. I'm trying to remember what the next thing was here. So Delphine will reveal that she took the horn. The note was a safeguard to protect against the trickery by the Thalmor. So that was part of the thing here going on. She's worried about the Thalmor. She also tells you that the dragons are not just coming back, but are actually coming back to life, resurrected from their burial mounds. So you're learning. She knows more about what's going on with the dragons. Only the Dragonborn can permanently kill dragons by absorbing their souls, but she is not quite ready to accept you as the Dragonborn. This is the part where you have to kind of prove yourself to her, despite the Greybeard's interest in you. So she has a task for you to prove your authenticity. According to the Dragonstone map, which is the exact one that you took from Bleak Falls, and the next dragon will rise from a burial mound in Kynesgrove, and she wants you to go with her to that site and kill that dragon. And if you do that, she will consider that proof that you are the Dragonborn, because she wants to watch you do your magic-y suck up the dragon soul thing. I think that's pretty solid proof.
That seems like a pretty good test, to be fair.
Right. So you head out with her, you go over there, and you find out where it is. You head over to Kynesgrove. Idra, the innkeeper, will run up and tell you that there was a dragon that was seen flying over the mound, and that's where you end up going, right? So according to and we often pull information, of course, from the UESP article, which, by the way, I checked out their podcast last night. They were live last night.
Oh, yes.
And speaking of the side note, speaking of Starfield, I was going to say Stargate. That's a completely other series.
Perfect.
Wonderful. I'm killing it tonight. Starfield. They're prepping their Starfield wiki I don't know exactly what it's going to be called yet, but that's amazing. Like they've done such a good job with Elder Scrolls. They're going to do an awesome job.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so when the dragon Lochner is whole once more, he has a conversation in the dragon language with Alduin, which is interesting.
Yes. And to be fair, Lochner doesn't really impress many people, especially Alduin.
Yeah, so they're having a little talk.
Yeah, they have their chat.
So let's see, where does it go? After ordering Lochner to kill you, Alduin flies away. Delphine will help you kill Lochner, and upon his death, when you absorb his soul, Delphine will be quick to acknowledge you as the Dragonborn. So that's what this says here. Again, this is another one of those quests that I feel like I blew through real fast.
Yeah,
showed up, fought the dragon.
This is more because I actually do remember this quest, and one of the things that I thought was kind of cool about this is one of those ones where you kind of the majority of the quest is actually kind of taking in the scenery and finding other stuff en route. It's like a travel to see all the things type of quest.
Yeah.
But the quest itself, this segment isn't super involved except for the dragon fight, and actually getting to watch him get resurrected is kind of cool out of the dragon mound. That was kind of neat. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it is kind of almost it's almost like hand holding you into like, go on, you can explore, look at all these things, like as you get to the dragon mound. But the quest itself isn't super involved by comparison. Like
no. But this is the part of the main quest line where it is revealed that she has suspicions that it's the Thalmor that have something to do with the return of the dragons.
Yep.
That this is what's actually going on, that they are trying to destroy the Empire, that they're trying to use the dragons as some sort of way to do that, some sort of leverage or something. And this is what leads into the next step in the main quest line, which is much more memorable to me than specifically this one where you just kind of show up and fight a dragon. So, so I think that's where we're going to stop with our reminiscing of the quest line in this one. So let's move on to your little note here about the thing that you think is super important.
It is very important because many neglect in all the excitement about Skyrim that this is not the only anniversary that takes place on this day.
Yeah.
Because it also turns out that it's Shadowkey's birthday.
Shadowkey. Okay.
Shadowkey.
I have a feeling that a good, I don't know, 80-90% of our listeners are going, that sounds kind of familiar. What the heck was that again?
So the Elder Scrolls Travel Shadowkey is an N-Gage exclusive game with Nokia. It looks rough. It turns 17 this year.
17. That was like 2004.
It came out in 2004. It actually came out.
Oh boy! Here, look at these images.
It is an old game in the series. Ironically, though, where Shadowkey takes place is the Western Reach area of the map. And it involves Hammerfell, High Rock, and Skyrim. You go to Skyrim in Shadowkey, which is also interesting. The memes.
Oh, man. Oh,
yes.
Oh, there's the box.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, theoretically, I own it. So I'll. I was going to say, it mine looks better than that.
Look at that. There's the picture of the N-Gage down there on the bottom. For anybody who has never seen an N-Gage before, that's what it looked like. That
is an N-Gage QD, I believe, because I actually don't have that one. I have the older version of the N-Gage in which I play Shadowkey.
Does it look like that?
Shadowkey, other than the region, obviously, that relates to it. The reason I bring this up, I just find it so funny because there's so much fanfare around Skyrim. And one of the things that the series, not just Elder Scrolls, but Bethesda has kind of been known for is these dates. They're like fascinated by the 11/11 things, or like numbers that repeat. And it started all the way back in 2004 with this game. It wasn't 11/11/11, but it was 11/11/2004 at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, when I originally played through this game, it was rough. It probably still is rough. I'll be playing it again on stream for everybody so that we can have documentation of it, because surprise, it's very difficult to find much on this game, as many people were not. Oh, that's a perfect view of the map. That map you just brought up is actually the one that's included in the box.
That's a beautiful map too.
It's an awesome map. It's hanging on my wall. That's why I can't show it to you, because it is literally stuck to my right-hand side right now. But yeah, it's an awesome map. There are a lot of locations in the game, and it brings you to several places that actually get addressed later on in the series. Skyrim being a big one, and Snowline was a really cool area. It's like right on the thing. But you also get to go to Dragonstar.
Yeah, it's down here on the bottom right.
Yeah, down on the bottom, which Dragonstar is in Elder Scrolls Online. Like, that's actually a major place. It holds the Dragonstar Arena, which is one of the two 4-player arenas in Elder Scrolls. So it's like, it had a lot of underpinnings of other stuff that will happen. It involves shadow magic, which is kind of only addressed in the game itself. They don't really deal with shadow magic much outside that. But without overly going into the plot of Shadowkey, you're collecting star teeth to fight this shadow creature that's going to come and mess stuff up. And as rough as it was to play the game originally, I will say that honestly, after playing Battlespire and Dawnstar, which is another Travels game, Shadowkey's really not that bad. I mean, it runs at like 4 frames a second. It is really comically rough, but at the same time, it has a surprising amount of content in it for a borderline throwaway game in the series. Like, even the throwaway games in the series are not forgotten. And the joke post every year, Captain Dumock actually makes a joke post about Shadowkey, and it usually reminds me to also join him with a joke post, because there aren't that many of us that have actually played through Shadowkey, or that many copies of Shadowkey that even exist. But for a random piece of deep lore, you can pickpocket. It is a rare purple collectible or item. There is a pickpocketable item called a Star Tooth, which is in Elder Scrolls Online. It's just a random pickpocket chance. I believe on the UESP, I'm actually the person with the picture of it, because like there's very little documentation on this thing. But what it is that is the main quest item you're going for in the game, to align these star teeth so that you can, you can fight back the shadow. But I would be remiss if I did not manage to mention that this is not the only Elder Scrolls birthday. There's also little baby Shadowkey.
Oh, little baby Shadowkey.
Yes. Which... Aww. In and amongst all these remasters of Skyrim, I'm definitely of the camp that I wish they would remaster a couple of the other ones as well. Like Oblivion wouldn't even be that complicated me not being a coder, not that complicated. You know what I mean? Like it's a more logical transition than kind of like upgrading something like Morrowind or Arena.
Beast, because they'd have to do all the voice lines to make it feel modern. Yes. There'd be a lot of content to do with that.
I really think I know there's some issues with the ownership of Shadowkey because it's locked on the N-Gage, which is weird. But I think it would be great if they would release that as like a phone game for even like 99 cents. Just people aren't going to like it for the most part.
Well, there's a reason why they won't do it.
Yeah, but I bet they would actually make a surprising amount of sales just on interest in the name The Elder Scrolls. Like,
yeah.
Granted, it won't add much deep lore people will really enjoy it, but it's just like there's stuff in that game that actually remains in the series, even though it is just kind of this wacky, really polygonal phone game for a phone that barely anybody owned. And the only music in the game is Peaceful Waters, which is one of my favorite tracks from Morrowind, but on a 9-second loop, which is rough to listen to after a while.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so I felt that needed to be addressed. That also there's another Elder Scrolls birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Shadowkey.
You did it.
You did it. You did it, little buddy.
You did it.
Well, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing we didn't run through the other, I don't know, 10, 11 quests in this.
Yeah, 10 more quests in Skyrim. And then we wouldn't even be able to discuss any of the side guilds or anything.
Well, we're gonna have to carry it over into the next episode and cover
part
the
2.
second of half of this on part 2, because there's just too much to cover here.
Yep.
So, man, Lotus, I've been having a ton of fun getting back into Skyrim. You know, one of the things I noticed
I'm so excited
in loading this back up is that, like, I've played a few different versions of Skyrim on my PC over the years with different graphics cards and processors, and man, getting out of that first zone and then just the draw distances, like,
yeah,
I don't remember the draw distances being as good. Maybe it's just like upgrades to my GPU over the years or something.
I don't know. And to be fair, the environment still is breathtaking to me. Like, I love the visuals and the god rays, and it's just the mists, and it just looks so awesome still.
Yeah, the underlying art and tone of the game,
the artistic feel,
and and that's part of why the game is just so classic, is that the bones of it are so well done that, like, you can just mod things on top, and you end up with something that's just better than it has a strong enough foundation that you can just add a little bit more on top, and you keep adding more on top with mods. But if you take all that stuff off, it still looks great for a 10-year-old game.
Right. And
I mean, the trees are a little bit blocky, and the rocks are a little bit blocky, and the textures are a little bit low for, compared to a modern game. But, it's still a great experience. It really is.
Yeah. And it's still super fun to play.
Yeah. 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 Just running up and fighting things is just fun. Like creeping around a dungeon and like picking locks and finding what's in things, or looking, like, the things are so well placed and things are hidden everywhere. Everything is an interesting experience. Like, and I don't know, the map is big enough that you get to a new area and you're like, have I been here? Do I remember this place?
Right.
I don't know that I do remember this place. Like, it's just such a solid experience. So I'm having a blast. I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know. How much are you going to dive back in? Have you? I know you haven't had much of a chance to load it in.
I'm planning to fully platinum the game again.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my plan. I'm probably. That's not a joke. I might not platinum just straight through. I might like jump in and out, but I will probably 100% achievement wise. I don't know if as far as I'm concerned, there's always something you can do. It doesn't need to relate to an achievement or whatever, even though I like doing those things. But like, getting all the stones of Baranzaya, like, I've only done that once because that's really, really time consuming.
Yeah, it's like 24 of them. Yeah.
But like, you can quote unquote 100% the game, and not have done that. So it's like, these games are just so immense. It really just, it's up to you how much you want to get out of them, because I've had people tell me, they're like, oh, the game wasn't that big. Like, it wasn't that long. It's like, what do you mean? The game is like enormous. I'm still playing it like 7 years later at the time. And they're like, oh, I don't know. I beat it in like 20 hours. I was like, what, you mainline the quest? Who does that?
You can really do that, but you're totally missing. I mean, okay. So you got the main story.
Right.
Cool.
And I was even like, wow, I don't know if I've ever, even when I'm just achievement hunting, I was like, I get distracted. I'm like, wait, what was I doing? Like,
you're missing
roaming
the
out
point.
in the woods. I was like, wasn't I trying to do something?
You're totally missing the point of the game if you're just mainlining the story. Like, that's fun. But like, what?
It's
trying to think of a good analogy. Like I can't think of a good analogy because it's such a unique thing.
Right. And the thing is, with a game like this, or any of these, honestly, kind of any Bethesda games, because they all have a very similar type of feel, there's so many options in which you can make it the game you want to play.
Yeah.
You can mainline the story. You can never touch the story. I know people who've done playthroughs. They're like, I never even trigger dragons because I don't want to do that. Like, I'm gonna play a merchant. Like, it's like, well, okay, sure, that's a choice too. Like, there's a lot of options in what you decide to do. Yeah,
absolutely. So, are you going to stream it at all?
I probably will. But pretty much anytime I'm able to stream, I will most likely be bouncing onto Skyrim a decent bit.
Cool, awesome.
Awesome. So hopefully, I'll have some time where I actually can get some streams in type of thing and play it on stream.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I'll be streaming in the mornings, weekdays over on my YouTube channel. And so I'll be doing that. Also, I think I'm going to try out, I don't know that I'll be using mods beyond just some of the like environment and texture mods that I loaded in on my stream. We're doing extreme role play. So the channel is deciding what my character's quirks are. Right now, we're a kleptomaniac. We have to get drunk to fast travel. So we can't fast travel without being drunk.
Do you have an irrational fear of chickens?
We have an irrational fear of chickens. That's one of them.
Yep.
We're very selfish. We do things for ourselves first. We got some.
So just me playing the game.
Yeah, a lot of people are in my chat were like, like most people were like, I try to be very benevolent. I try to do the right thing all the time. And they're like, it would be really interesting to see a playthrough where that's not always the thing that is chosen. And
wow, I am a monster then.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, as long as that's entertaining and we like don't put people off. And they're like, oh my God, you're a monster. I can't watch this.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Anytime somebody's like, ooh, I need an upgrade. Shink.
I've taken that from you. Thank you. Yeah, we tried stealing. So fun story. We tried stealing something from one of the priests of Kinnereth, I think it was.
Yep.
And he had like a really shiny gem or something. And I was like, oh, we're going to try and pickpocket him. And my pickpocketing is not good because we're right at the beginning of the game. And Fendel is with us. Is it Fendel? The elf bowman? And
yeah, it definitely starts with an F. I have no idea. I'm terrible with names.
I'm so bad
I know
with
who you're
names
talking about from Riverwood.
Yeah, from Riverwood. Yeah. He's my buddy. I got him all decked out in my iron armor. So he's like my bowman tank.
Perfect.
Fendel. Yeah. Fendel. Right. Okay. Good. Thank you, Wayward. So Fendel's with me and like we're sneaking up on him. He was sleeping. And so I go to pickpocket him and I'm like, ooh, shiny gem. I'm going to try that one first. And of course you wake him up and he's like, oh, what are you doing? And he starts attacking me. And so I try to run away. I'm like, I'm sorry. I ran away. And then Fendel just like starts wailing, pulls out a double-bladed battle axe and starts wailing on him. He's like, fine, I give. And then Fendel just like destroys him, just like kill. I'm like, Fendel, stop. And he just kills him.
Love it.
And I was like, Fendel
knows what's up.
Fendel, you just murdered the dude. I was like, we're just trying to, we're not murderers. We're just thieves.
See, and it's one of the first, I was going to say, I did not drag this out too long, but oh man, the Skyrim memories are just so much fun. Years ago, when I was first getting involved with podcasting and Dungeon Crawler Network, and actually I was only on as a guest for Tales of Tamriel as opposed to now. Mm-hmm. So it was like 3 years or so ago, maybe a little longer than that. They were promoting Extra Life because I was doing it back then. It was actually one of the first things they saw and were just like, oh, we'll totally help with that. Because Agelos and Ark were super awesome. They were all about it. And I remember Ark was hanging out with me as it clicked over the 24th hour. And I had been playing Skyrim. And I was trying to do something stealthy. And the guard caught me. And I was like, damn it. And Ark's just like, take him down. I was like, all right. So I took out Volendrung and I just obliterated this guard. Like just one swing, just turned this Whiterun guard into dust. And the thing that was funny, my bounty disappears as if I killed the witness with nobody else seeing it.
Right.
As another Whiterun guard walks by, looks at me and goes, and just keeps walking. And Art goes, that was the game rewarding you for being awake for 24 hours.
It's like, nice work. All right.
Yeah. Move just along, like, citizen. Good.
I hated that guy anyway. You're fine. Nice. That's great. Oh man. Yeah. So we're having a lot of fun over there. So yeah, come hang out with us. It's a lot of fun. And I think that's about it. I think we're done.
Yeah, I believe that's everything. Oh, in closing, not that you need to follow, whatever. Everybody knows where they can find me. I'm Lotus of Doom. Great. That's not the important bit. As a thank you for everybody, speaking of Extra Life, who helped out during Extra Life, I have a Skyrim-related promotional thing. From now until December 1st, this counts retroactively for everybody. So do not feel like you need to donate more or whatever. I am looking through every one of the $2,000 that you all donated. And every dollar donation that you put forward, I'm going to put you in as one entry. I'm making a nightmarish spreadsheet currently.
Oh my God.
You are allowed to enter up to December 1st. That's when I will do the drawing. And the drawing will be for the Skyrim. There's only 5,000 of these that were made. It's the tablet for anybody on the video version of this. There's a Dragonstone tablet. They made 5,000 of them in the Bethesda store. I have a second one beside the one that I showed on stream.
These are the chunky heavy ones, right?
What's that?
These are like the chunky heavy ones.
Oh yeah, it's basically like desk sized, except it weighs about a pound.
Yeah.
The thing is no joke.
These feel they feel heavy. Yeah.
I haven't opened it. It's still going to be shipped to you in the wrapping, so I actually don't know what number you will get out of 5,000. But as a thank you, I will be drawing one of those, or drawing a winner. So if you've already donated, whatever you've donated to the charity, those are the amount of entries you have. You are still able to donate and get entries. I'll just add you in as need be, over at Extra Life, Lotus of Doom. But yeah, this is kind of like my way of saying thank you everybody for helping me out. And I have no idea what the date is. So what is it? The 12th.
12th. So you've got a few weeks still.
Yeah, so you've got a couple weeks. Any dollar donation amount counts as one entry, and I will post it on Twitter. But if you don't have Twitter, don't worry about it. I will find a way to contact you. Just if you donate anonymously, show me a receipt just so I know what to do. Because some people have donated them anonymously, and I can't.
There's no way
I don't know how to find you.
Yeah.
So if you do wish to donate, do not feel obligated or anything like that. But if you would like a chance to win the Skyrim Dragonstone tablet, just donate and make sure that your name is somehow attached to it, or you can show me that it was you that did it. And I will let you know when we pick a winner.
Awesome. Yeah. Get in some donations for that. And if you don't have any donations and you want to win something that's completely not as impressive as that, then you can look behind me right here and you can see my sexy Santa suit hanging up behind me. And all you have to do is show up on my YouTube stream in the morning and try to get us to our 25 viewer goal. If 25 of you show up at any moment, I have to wear my sexy Santa suit. It's right there, boobs and all. So if you don't have money to donate and you just want to see me in a sexy Santa suit, that's it right there.
It's beautiful.
This is another reason to show up to our live streams or watch the video version of the podcast. Oh man. Yeah, it's like sitting there taunting me over my shoulder. All right. Well, Lotus, this has been super fun. I can't wait to do the second half of this episode next week. We'll be back at our regular time on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So come join us for that on twitch.tv/robotsradio. And I think that's all we got going. You guys know where to reach us for all the other stuff. The Robots Radio Discord is easy to find. Just search Robots Radio Discord. It'll pop right up. We've got a bunch of links in the show notes. We've got everything else on the robotsradio.net website for all the other shows on the network and all the other stuff that's going on. If you have any questions about anything else, then, just shoot us a note on Twitter or on the Discord. You know where to find us. Lotus, thanks for hanging out. Twitch, chat, thank you for being here. We'll see you guys next time. And until next time, if you find yourself sucking up a bunch of dragon souls, then maybe go talk to somebody with a big long beard. Find out what's going on. All right. See you guys later. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. If you have something you'd like to contribute to the show, please reach out to us at elderscrollslorecast@gmail.com or on Twitter @ESO Lorecast. I really appreciate you listening, and I'd love to hear from you soon.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.